Can you beat Gothic 2 as a Fire Mage? Duh, of course you can, dumbass, but can you do that as a pure Fire Mage? The rules of the challenge are simple. First, I can only use fire spells. If the spell's name says fire, I can use it. Second, no major exploits or bugs.
There you are again!
Vatras tells me dragons are about to set the world on fire. What's wrong with that? Fire is good. To save the world, I am told I need to get an artifact called the Eye of Innos, currently in possession of the paladins. I read book stands for XP, plunder Vatras' tower, and acquire a few starters, fire scrolls. On the bow I use a fire arrow scroll to scorch a young wolf and approach Cavalier, not giving a single crap about XP from the goblins he murders. This run isn't about XP at last. I grab a few more fiery scrolls, take some freebies from Cavalier, and bait him into raiding the bandits who supposedly beat his ass earlier. Now, you might be thinking using NPCs to deal with enemies trivializes the challenge, but the way I see it, a true Fire Mage is a self-serving jerk who wouldn't pass up the chance to let someone else do the dirty work for them. In other words, maybe you're right, but I don't care. With the bandits gone, I score a small donation from Cavalier along with an important letter to deliver to Vatras, some water mage. Ew, we don't like them. I set another wolf on fire, break news about bandits' demise to farmers, and meet Lobart, the farmer, who has the audacity to suggest that I work in exchange for decent clothes.
I'm supposed to pull turnips? You gotta be kidding.
Unbefitting Fire Mage. Instead, in the nearby buildings, I stumble across loose satchels full of coins, and in a chest, a set of farmer's clothes. You call that clothes? Naturally, I take it all. It's not stealing. A true Fire Mage is entitled to whatever they need to accomplish their mission. I trade the farmer's clothes to Greg for gold. Way more useful. A Fire Mage wouldn't dress up like a peasant just to enter the city anyway. Instead, they take the path of least resistance and simply walk in around the guards. Here, Bossbar offers a fire coin for animal skins, so I picked up the skill.
Teach me how to skin animals.
But would a Fire Mage really bother with harvesting trophies? Well, it's not unheard of for a rich man to hunt for sport, and in my mind, a true Fire Mage shares the same mindset. So yeah, my character would. I meet Matteo, who tells me about Greta's death. I swing by her place with a stern reminder that she should live modestly and sell off the extra clothes she wasted money on. Then I take her gold and dash, leaving Matteo to never see that money again. Speaking of clothes, you're absolutely right. Walking around like this doesn't suit a Fire Mage. It doesn't inspire respect. There we go, much better. Vatras takes the letter and starts rambling about a ring of water, missing people, earthquakes, the usual. Then he asks me to deliver some ancient ornament to Laris, who might also help me join a community that could get me an audience with Hagen about the Eye of Innos. Laris yaps something about swimming, must have mistaken me for someone else. He takes the ornament and asks me to find a replacement so he can abandon his post to deliver the ornament. When I ask about joining the monastery, he's useless, just sends me back to Vatras, who passes me along to a fellow fire magician, Darren. Next I spend some time wandering around the town, learning about my future, catching a couple criminals,
Gotcha!
turning them to the militia, and gathering funds for my mission from various sources. I ask Baltram to relieve Laris and introduce myself to Darren.
I am poor.
I get the blessing and learn about a statuette he somehow lost to goblins. Recovering that should get me an entry to the monastery. Next day I meet Bardock, an animal abuse enjoyer, and we depart for hunting. It was going great. Bardock alone was doing great, until we encountered an orc. Trust me, I try my best to aid him with the fireball, but to no avail. He fell. May Innos watch over his soul or something. Back in town, I reassure Torben and Harad I am a devoted person.
You're a good man.
And from there, my fruitful business relationship with Bossbar begins. All the gold I got, I buy a few fire scrolls from Zuris and ask Laris out for some Tour de Corinis sightseeing. Laris urges me to take the ornament straight to Sadoras in the catacombs.
Don't even think about strolling around for long with this ornament.
But I ignore him and head back all the way to the Dead Harpies Tavern to track down goblins which robbed Darren. With a bit of maneuvering, I ran up everything in my path and roasted it all with a single firestorm. I love firestorm. I grabbed the statuette. Apparently the goblin behind me was black.
You in.
Really? Next I swing by Honor's farm, piss off Sentenza, return the plane to Maria, and learn about Patrick's disappearance from court. All of this just to get the critical lead for the missing people investigation for water mages. I mean, I wouldn't be telling people around that I want to join the mercenaries for XP or something. That'd be terribly out of character. On my way back to Corinis, I pick up a king sorrel and a mana ring at a nearby plateau. I buy out fire arrow scrolls from Zuris, sell him my garbage, and trade my mana with Vatras up to 34. I report back to Darren with the statuette.
I found your statuette.
Praise be to Innos!
What will you do with it now?
Nothing
That's what
at
I've
all.
always said.
It brought me nothing but bad
How
luck.
interesting.
You'll take it back to the monastery for me,
Who
my
says
son.
things like that?
Naturally, they won't let you in unless
Oh,
you
wait,
dedicate
don't
the
tell
rest
me
of
it's
your
not my
life
husband
to
there.
serving the monastery. But I'm sure you won't mind doing that if it means you can be of service
seen
to
it with my
me.
own
Right?
Then I split the ground on blessings to receive Innos' eternal grace, something the church members themselves apparently can't get anymore. Probably because deep down they know it's bullshit. Anyway, let's find out. On the way to the monastery, I sell more junk to Isgarath and buy another ring boosting my mana. At the gate I meet Pedro, swear my undying devotion to Innos, stroll inside, and draw the statuette to Corax. Now would be good time to roll up my sleeves, if I had any, and earn my way to the library to study magic.
How can I serve the community? I've got some fire nettles for you. Would you like a sausage? I've distributed the sausages. I need help sweeping the novices' chambers. I found a recipe.
Kill a dark wolf.
I'm bringing the wine from the monastery. I've got the gold. Can I have access to the library?
With the access I learn about and go demand the test of fire. The test boils down to completing a task from each of the 3 hotshots staring everyone down in the church. Pyroker tells me to follow the signs of Innos and bring what the believer finds behind the path, whatever the hell that means. I think I should take a shortcut. Far up the north, I find a hidden cave and a fancy room with a chest in the middle. The key I get from Pyroker fits, and inside there is a runestone. Upon exit, I notice a rival novice outside, but I have no tattoo clothes, so screw that loser. For my second task, Serpentis sends me off to break some rocks. My hunch tells me I might need a hammer. I think I saw one in the basement.
Filthy thief.
I look around the path I walked by not so long ago and stumble upon a golem. A fireproof golem. I guess I lost the challenge.
What wares do you have to offer?
One less monster around.
The final task is to create a fire arrow rune. Yeah, before that I treat myself with a magic wand. 20 extra mana. A quick course of rune crafting worth 5 learning points, and I'm set. At last I'm officially recognized as a Fire Mage.
I'm ready to step into the first circle of fire.
Except I won't do that, because there is a way to fast track straight into the second circle, and true Fire Mages conserve their energy. After an audience with Lord Hagen, I am sent to the Valley of Mines on a reconnaissance mission with the promise of the Eye of Innos waiting for me if I make it back. For my mission, I have Brother Nearest brew me a batch of speed potions. Pyroker assigns me an escort to the pass. I am more than happy to take advantage.
You are there.
At the pass I chug 1 potion, sprint past orcs, in the darkness, climb up the ramp and hop straight into a bed. In the morning I meet Milton and pretend we've never crossed paths. A Fire Mage can't afford to be linked to ex-convicts.
Our hero from the barrier.
Do I know you?
Do you remember Gorn, Diego, and Lester?
Those names don't ring a bell at all.
Actually, don't ever pick that dialogue option. You'll lose the chance to free Gorn and worse, miss out on extra coin from Milton and Diego. I request a swift introduction to the second circle of fire, finally gaining some independence from scrolls. Not that I relied on them much, I was usually running past or having others do my bidding. I briefly head back to Corinnes, finally putting my fire arrow rune to proper use. Near the cave where Cavalier handled the bandits, I find a clearing crawling with lizards and an amulet that boosts my mana by 10 points. Back in the castle, Garand asks me to find out how much ore was mined in exchange for proof. A task totally unworthy of a Fire Mage, but the plot must go on. I eventually run into Diego, who's secured some ore crates from one of the mining camps. I take him for a little walk out of the valley, let him do the fighting while I conserve my precious energy. We swing back via its camp, take out the raptor leader, grab the second report for Garand, and we're ready to head toward the pass. Occasionally I even lend Diego a bit of support, with a lit up torch. Eventually we conveniently bump into Marcos, a paladin from the third mining site, and just like that, I have all the information Garand needs. Continue our journey, plying through bandit camps, clearing lurker-infested shores, and running into some escaped convicts. That behavior doesn't fly with Fire Mages. Into the fire they go. After some more fighting, and mind you I kept using Diego's services to the absolute minimum, we reach the pass.
It's been ages.
I stumble upon the fat bag of gold and split with Diego at the tunnel's entrance. And, totally accidentally, let a fire arrow fly at the barely alive Diego. Whoops! Fire is so hard to control. I take the letter from Garand, exit the valley into the next chapter, and meet a hooded persona representing so-called seekers. My flames don't do shit to him, which I can't say about his flames, so I call it a draw and retreat. Some bald guy I've never met hands me a teleport rune and urges me to meet Zardas, who proceeds to tell me nothing I didn't already know. I head down the path toward the city again, watch Cavalier fight 2 hellhounds, and dodge fireballs hurled by the evil magicians. Wait, why are invoice of evil casting fireballs? In the city I...
Hey, you look completely flabbergasted.
Hang on.
One less.
Diego is now a doppelganger.
I've got no time for that.
Anyway, back to the business.
I bring you news from Garand.
From Pyrocar, I learned the guy was stolen. Oh no. Priorities though. Third circle of magic, more mana, and finally a firestorm rune. Witnesses say the thief jumped off the bridge. Damn it.
You're the second fellow to rush past here like he's been stung by blood flies.
I rush past the hooded figures, follow the trail of dead novices, and savor the smell of napalm in the air. Eventually I stumble onto some weird ritual by the Hoodie gang. One of them kindly explains what they did with the eye, like all good villains do.
We have destroyed the Eye of Innos.
I chew on the snapper reed, ran up, snatched the broken artifact, and bid them farewell. Pyrocar is shocked.
That cannot be!
And sends me to Vatras. Vatras is unmoved by the fact that the only countermeasure against the upcoming apocalypse has just been ruined. He won't help me as long as there's even a chance he might need to leave the city. To get him a replacement, he suggests I help the other water mages with their troubles. What was I helping them with? Right, missing people. Oh, I suppose to ask some Dexter about Patrick or whomever.
Patrick, huh? No idea what you're talking.
He obviously lies, so in flames he bursts. On Dexter's body I find orders explaining the fate of the missing people. Some guy named Raven is involved. This act of bravery earns me an exclusive membership in the Water Mage's secret fan club, the Ring of Water, which the whole island has known about forever. I'm then given a letter for the other Water Mages, the same ones I was already supposed to deliver the ornament to with Laris. Using a teleport stone near the tavern, I arrive there instantly. I hand over the junk to Nefarious and am asked to find 3 more, presumably at the locations he marked on the map I received. I approached the first one near Rolbar's farm and ran into a welcome committee. Cavaleron is there too, standing completely naked. We cook up a diversion to lure the Seekers away from the stones. Huh? What's this peasant doing? How dare he lay a hand on Innos' chosen? As the commotion rages in the background, I press the switches in the stones and nothing happens. I should probably regroup with Cavaleron, but he's too busy waffling over who to strike next. With a bit of patience, the problem solves itself. Cavaleron says the farmers tampered with the mechanisms before and called the paladins for help with some magical creature. So Hagen probably has the ornament now. Well, he could have mentioned that right away. Next I dive into the northern woods and find a similar stone structure. After hitting the final switch, I face the stone sentinel, with absurdly high magic resistance. Guess I'm gonna pee like a racehorse from all these mana potions. Next day I visit the farm fields and find the final structure. A nearby Seeker enters the combat and accidentally burns the sentinel, making him switch target. Unfortunately, Seeker's fireball is even less effective than the firestorm of mine. Every now and then he switches the spells though, so eventually the stone creature falls apart and I can scavenge the final piece of the ornament. With all the pieces assembled, I activate the mechanism that opens a portal to Jarkendar, where Raven plots his evil scheme.
What should I do?
You must find Raven and prevent him from desecrating the Temple of Adanos. Acquire some of the bandits' armor.
Celerus suggests I get myself a bandit's armor and sneak into their camp. That sounds like work. Too much work. A few bandits won't stop a true Fire Mage. They'll either bow before me or burn. Yeah, I just wanted an excuse to splash around Firestorm. Even though I went off the beaten path, I still arrive at the temple too late. Raven sweet-talked some ghost into letting him in and slammed the door behind him. Together with the Water Mages, we come up with Plan B. Find a grave, read a formula to summon another ghost, and persuade him to grant me access. Basically do exactly what Raven just did. Communication will be the key, so I get a crash course in the ancient language and practice on the tablets I've collected so far. I ran out of speed potions, but here the pirates might have some good stuff, so I take a quick detour to their camp.
Halt!
Henry, the guard on duty, is foolish enough to demand gold for entry. I'm not in the mood, so he bursts into flames. I stock up on hasty hurry, the kind of poison that would knock Brother Nearest straight into the textures. After some wandering, I find the grave, recite the formula, ace the quiz, barge into the temple, solve every riddle flawlessly. Slip past the sentinels, not worth the mana, and finally come face to face with Raven, the villain himself. 100 magic resistance? Oh great, I can't go back. Well, Fortunately, the doors to the portal aren't unlocked only after Raven's death, so I reload and escape the temple to regroup. I mean, I could just stock up on fire rain scrolls and blast him, but a true Fire Mage wouldn't waste such scrolls when the better opportunity presents itself. I enter the temple again, carefully bait Raven, so the door doesn't shut behind me. What? I mean, technically, I didn't do the damage personally. I didn't break any of my rules. Anyway, the earthquakes are gone, Beliar's artifact sinks into the dark depths of the ocean, and Mixer heads back to the city. I could return to the main plot, but instead, I spent some time doing stuff. Trading, preparing, gathering resources. I recover a set of priest jewelry for an extra 10 mana. I dig up treasures, play with flaming angry puppies, trade, pick up in the wild, and end up with 8 Fire Rain scrolls, which I think is the grand total you can get in Chapter 3. I pick up and buy out every King's Sorrel on the island. I run around collecting old stone tablets, dig more treasures, get some in exchange for clothes or jewelry, plunder orc-ridden libraries, burn more bandits, get burned myself. 24 tablets in total. Some are still stuck in locked chests, but I don't think Fire Mage would bother picking locks, and unfortunately I can't blast the lock open with a fireball. In addition to that, I grab mana tablets, find spirit elixirs, and learn to cook them myself. Finally, I train my mana up to 64, deliver the old stone tablets to Vatras, say a few prayers, get diarrhea from eating roughly 150 mushrooms, destroy both kidneys and my liver with 18 bottles of spirits, and study every last mana tablet. 300 max mana. Now we can continue the plot. Vatras lays out the plan. He needs the assistance of 2 experienced representatives of Innos and Beliar to perform a counter ritual to reinfuse the amulet with magic. Zardos is down with the plan, but Pyrocar, as being an unforgiving jerk, hears Zardos will be there.
What?
And just declines the invite. Before the departure, Zardos gave me the key to the chest at Sekop's house, where I can find some incentive for Pyrocar to move his butt. I go there. Naturally the place is already ridden with seekers, so I snipe them all from afar, wasting a ton of mana. I collect the book, deliver it to Pyrocar, and he sets out at last. I also need the master smith to put the amulet's frame back together. I recall they have one, Bennett, at Honor's farm. I learn Bennett got arrested for a murder during his trip to town. The victim was a paladin, so Hagen's involved. Hagen claims they have a witness. They don't. Bennett goes free and owes me free labor. The ritual goes well, the amulet is mint condition, and I get Archmage rags. I start a new chapter, and go back to restock on pure mana potions and get some extra elixirs of spirit. Then I annihilate orcs at the pass, ran past the orc siege, and through bandits camp to enter the Land of Ice. The ice golems guarding the way resist my fires, which is total bullshit, but whatever, I can just run past them too. Mark Zuckerberg's cousins give me a bit of trouble too, but eventually I blast through. And there he is. Fingrid, the Ice Dragon, as if that makes sense. Dragons come with nasty high magic resistance, and yes, against all common sense, fire spells don't deal fire, but magic damage. There are 2 scripts looping whenever dragons in either its rest or attack state, healing it by about 1 HP every other cycle. The bad news is, those scripts run basically every frame, so the more frames your PC cranks out, the faster the dragon heals. I capped my FPS at 60, and even then the regen is already ridiculous. Fortunately, against the Ice Dragon there is a secret weapon, Large Fireball. I bought 5 scrolls and found 2 more somewhere, doesn't matter. What matters is that you can charge this spell with up to 160 mana for 300 damage, and against the Ice Dragon, it doubles. You can even pre-charge it as long as you cancel the cast quickly and don't put the spell away.
The power of the eye is extinguished.
That's not a bad damage. Expensive, but respectable. The kicker is the remaining dragons don't take double damage from a large fireball, and I really don't want to cheese them with fire rain scrolls. So I started experimenting and realized something. But before we get to that, back in Corinus I unlock the 4th circle and craft a large fireball rune, and mirror 10 learning points. Serpentis has a special assignment, track down people selling illegal mining shares. I find them all, well, except Kantar, who had an unfortunate accident back in Chapter 3. Thankfully the scripts anticipated that. As for the mastermind, I find him already dead. Serpentis rewards me anyway with an amulet of magic protection. From Gorax I buy a belt with the same property, and then I notice a ring of protection just sitting in my backpack. I don't remember where I picked that up. Back in the valley I track down another dragon, put on my special set, and just like that I have a 75 magic protection. What's the big deal? Dragons from distance spit plain fireballs, and they deal 75 damage. so dragons can harm me. The fight turns into pure attrition. What's even more interesting is that the region seems to pause between fireballs. A bug? More like a feature. Turns out the state script that handles AI in region doesn't run every frame under certain circumstances. Specifically if the NPC is performing an action that locks them in place and triggers a blocking event in the engine. So, with the dragon constantly spamming flames at me, I have all the time in the world to chip away at its health, one large fireball at a time. Pandrol falls, Pedrakan falls. Few matter, the fire dragon doesn't. He takes half damage from most fire spells. Screw him. Fire rain 1, 2, 3. 9 HP, oh come on! Huh. For some reason he stopped regenerating altogether. Oh well. 2 large fireballs later, all dragons in the valley are dead. Back in Corinus I learned Zardas took off on vacation, leaving me only a password for the book I had handed to Pyrocar. Inside I find a key, unlock a secret passage to the monastery underground, fire rain the demons, totally not killing anyone innocent upstairs, and discover a sea map pointing straight to the main villain. With the final circle unlocked, I acquired a Fire Rain rune, the ultimate weapon of mass destruction. Don't tell the CIA. Before setting out, I must assemble the best crew ever, only the most trusted people.
Cannot use you at the moment.
Definitely no convicted felons allowed.
I can always use good people.
All right, I shall join you.
I need to go to an island. I could use a smith. Be my captain.
What have you done, wretch?
Get stuffed.
Oops, looks like I'm running out of options. Seems I'll have to take some criminals aboard after all.
Would you fancy a little trip around the world? I'm headed for an island not far from this one.
Everything's ship-shape.
At this point, there is absolutely nothing that could ruin the challenge. Fire Rain rune makes me Hang on, I can't open the bridge! You need to use bow for that, and with my stats I can't even wield any. If only there was a way to jump to the other side. A little bit to the right, please. There we go, that's perfect.
Nope. 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 Nope.
Are you fucking kidding me? After countless attempts, I figured out what actually works, using Black Ore to nail the timing and keeping any spell ready so the pushback animation doesn't bug out. Easy. And there you have it. Gothic 2 as a pure Fire Mage.
I did it. I eliminated the enemy.
Easier than you think. Compared to max XP ship murdering, this was walk in the park. Episode 3 for that run is still in production, by the way. I'm taking it slow cause it is a bit crazy. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.